If you're thinking about selling your home in Kelowna, one of the first questions you probably have is, how much is this going to cost me? That's a question I hear from almost every seller that I work with. Selling a home isn't just about finding a buyer. There are several costs along the way that you'll want to plan for. The good news is, when you know what to expect, there are fewer surprises and you can make better decisions about your sale. And yes, we will talk about commission, but we'll get to that closer to the end of the video. Because while it's not the only cost you'll face, it's definitely the one that gets asked about the most. We'll not only cover what it is, but exactly what it includes when you work with a realtor like me. But first, let's look at some of the other costs that can come up so you can be better prepared and avoid any surprises. Let's start with something that's unavoidable: legal fees. When your home sells, you'll need a lawyer or a notary to handle the legal side of the transaction. They'll transfer the title, make sure the funds go where they're supposed to, and tie up all the legal loose ends. In Kelowna, you can expect to pay between $1,500 and $2,500 in most cases. This can vary though, depending on how complex the sale is. For example, a rental property with tenants, a strata property, or a home on First Nations land usually cost more. And here's the thing: without this step, you can't hand over the keys. So it's a cost you'll want to factor in right from the start. By the way, if we haven't met yet, I'm Tyrell Boak. I live and work as a realtor right here in Kelowna. And on this channel, I provide you with useful information so you can make smart, confident decisions, whether you're buying, selling, or just keeping an eye on the market. And if you ever want to book a call with me to talk about your next move, there's a link down in the description. Next up, we have to talk about mortgage discharge fees. If you have a mortgage, your lender will charge you a small fee to remove it from the property title, and that's usually between $75 and $300. But that's the simple part. Where sellers can get caught is if they're breaking their mortgage early. That's when penalties can jump into the thousands. I've seen 5,000, 10,000, or even more. That's why I always recommend checking with your lender before you list your home. Knowing your penalty up front can help you decide when to sell or whether it makes sense to wait until your mortgage renewal. Next, let's talk about getting your home ready for buyers. This one isn't mandatory, but it can have a huge impact on how quickly you sell and for how much. Preparation can mean anything from a fresh coat of paint to replacing dated light fixtures or doing small repairs that you've been putting off. Decluttering is also a big one, and you can do that yourself or hire a professional for a few $100s to tackle it for you. You may also want to look at professionally cleaning your home before listing it, and that typically costs between $200 and $500 for a basic surface clean. And if you choose to stage your home, costs for that can range from $1,500 to $5,000 or more. Here's how I look at it: you don't always need to spend big, but strategic updates that make your home feel fresh and move-in ready can create more competition among buyers. And more competition usually means a better selling price. Once you've sold your home, there's a small but important calculation your lawyer or notary will make, and that's the property tax and utility adjustments. You'll only pay for the time you've actually owned the home during the calendar year. So if you've paid your property taxes, the buyer reimburses you for their share. Utilities like electricity, gas, water, and sewer are prorated the same way. It's not a huge expense, but you'll see it on your final statement of adjustments, and it's just something that you need to be aware of. And then, of course, there's the cost of actually moving. If you're hiring movers, expect anywhere from a few $100s to several thousands. It's a good idea to call around and get quotes early so there are no surprises when you go to move. And here's something else to think about: if your selling date and the move-in date for your new place don't line up, you may have to rent a storage locker. Or you can do what one of my sellers did, and they actually found a moving company that stored their belongings for free for a couple of weeks until they could move into their new home. So it always pays to ask the right questions up front. Alright, let's get to the one you've been waiting for: commission. In British Columbia, commissions aren't fixed, they're always negotiable. Most sellers choose to work with a full-service realtor who charges a percentage of the sale price. That fee is shared between the listing agent and the buyer's agent. My fee structure is 7% on the first 100,000 and 3% on the balance. But here's what's important: commission isn't just about putting a sign in the yard or opening the doors for a few showings. Here's what's included when you work with me: a full strategy session, professional photography and videography, targeted marketing through online ads, social media campaigns, and premium listing placement, negotiation expertise to protect your price and terms, all the listing paperwork and contract reviews, covering the cost of strata documents if we need to get them, a surface title search before we list, and hosting and promoting open houses to attract serious buyers. The point is, commission covers a lot more than people realize. It's about making sure your home is positioned, marketed, and negotiated to protect your equity and get you the best outcome possible. So, those are the main costs you can expect when selling your home in Kelowna. Some, like legal fees and property tax adjustments, are required no matter what. Others, like staging, repairs, or working with a realtor, are always optional. You don't have to pay for them, but they can make a big difference in how smoothly your sale goes and how much you walk away with in the end. The key is going in with your eyes open. When you understand what's required, what's optional, and what each cost covers, you can plan ahead, avoid surprises, and make confident decisions about your sale. And if you'd like a free checklist that breaks all of these expenses down in detail, I've put one together for you. There's a link in the description to download it, and it's completely free. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.